morning. My name is Molly Barker, and I'm the founder of Girls on the Run, and had the privilege to speak at Charlotte's TEDx last year, and I have the privilege and honor to open up for this amazing day of risk takers and dream makers. And so if you all would help me out, just let's give this amazing day the round of applause that it deserves. So the work that I do, I work with young girls in 3rd to 8th grade, and really what we're trying to do is help these young ladies, as one girl put it, become the boss of her own brain, to make mindful and intentional decisions with the path that they want to take in their own lives. And so today we honor the risk takers and the dream makers, those who at times frighten us, push us, inspire us, and challenge us to push outside our comfort zones. And so to kick us off, I'd like to introduce you to one of my good friends, and her name is Emily. Emily is in 4th grade and is a social activist, a feminist, a runner, a risk taker, and a dream maker. And if I could describe to you what Emily looks like, she's about this tall. She has very curly hair that is like in coils, and when she runs or walks, they spring and bounce. And her personality is quite a lot like her hair. It's very perky and bouncy. And so one of the lessons that we do in Girls on the Run is to help these girls reframe some of their thoughts around emotions. And a lot of times young girls around this critical age of adolescence begin to label emotions as either good or bad. And what we're trying to do is get them to reframe them and put them into a different context where they don't feel like they are bad for having angry thoughts, or they don't try to avoid sorrow. They just relabel them or rename them. And so the girls on this particular day came up with the notion of emotions either make me feel comfortable or uncomfortable. So when I'm angry, I might be uncomfortable with that emotion. So the girls were beginning to, they just processed through all that, and now they're beginning to run some of their laps. So every girl got a bingo card with 12 different emotions on it. And on this particular day, every time they'd complete a lap, they get a little bingo piece that they would then stick on the card. And the motivation, of course, was to win bingo, and they would run these multiple laps. So all of the girls were running and playing and leaping and having just a fabulous time. And then, of course, there was Emily. And Emily is typically my perkiest, most vivacious, lively runner. And I noticed that on this particular day, Emily was sort of strolling around the track. And she walks over to me and looks up at me and says, "Molly, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to run today. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable." And of course, I naturally assumed that she was feeling uncomfortable due to some sort of emotional angst that she might be feeling. And so I said, "Oh, Emily, what could I do for you? Are you feeling an uncomfortable emotion today?" And she looked at me and she goes, "No, frankly, I feel uncomfortable because I forgot my jog bra." Now, Emily is in 4th grade. And while there's a lot of 4th and 5th graders that might frankly need a jog bra, Emily was not one of those. As a matter of fact, there was like nothing going on in that particular area, at least that I could see. But I did notice that on this particular day, Emily had decided to wear what we women affectionately call the cuppy bra. Now, the cuppy bra is this sort of functionable, I'm not even exactly sure what it is, but it is this thing that sort of pushes up or adds to what may or may not be there. And unfortunately, Emily had chosen this particular day to wear her first cuppy bra. And every time that the girl tried to run any length of time, due to the fact that there was not a whole lot to hold it up, the cuppy bra was slowly advancing up towards her neck. And so while all the other girls were running and playing and having this absolutely fabulous time, poor Emily was restrained and bound by those wires, wraps, straps of the cuppy bra. And so as the girls were passing by her, they kept yelling, "Emily, Emily, why don't you run? What's wrong? Will you play with us? Let's go." And of course, Emily, all she could do was look to the ground and be restrained. And so about halfway through the workout where the girls are running their laps, I'm taking a glance around, I'm cheering every girl as she comes around, and Emily's only walking. I notice that for a brief few seconds, my Emily is missing. And of course, as a coach, this is not such a great thing to have happen. And I'm viewing around the track. My assistant coach and I are spanning the crowd, scanning to try to find Emily, when all of a sudden we hear it. There's a utility building across the track, a metal building with these huge doors, and I hear this tremendous slam open. And we see from all the way across the track this young lady step out from behind the utility doors with both hands at her side, and she looks to her left, and she looks to her right, and then out of nowhere, she lifts the capybara up into the sky and begins to run very dramatically, as if she were like the Statue of Liberty, with the capybara over her head around the track, runs over to me, takes that capybara, stuffs it into her book bag, and comes over to me, and literally these were the words out of her mouth: "I am free." I'm not done yet. I am free. I am free. I am free at last. And so, I love Emily. And I love her willingness to step outside the status quo, the gender stereotypes, and risk the potential embarrassment of admitting her choice to wear the silly cuppy bra. I'm quite certain not another girl in our group will ever forget this day. I know I won't. The laughter, the giggles, but more importantly, the conversation we had in our wrap-up about choosing to celebrate, honor, and love our bodies just the way they are, in spite of an advertising industry and fashion industry that may suggest otherwise just to make a few bucks. And while Emily's impact may not be as great in numbers as some of the other more legendary risk takers, I'm willing to put her up there. Steve Jobs, who in spite of his parents' fear and frustration, left college after only 2 years to travel throughout India in search of inner peace. Rosa Parks, who in the tiniest of moments chose to stay in her bus seat. Gandhi, who risked his life to peacefully transform relations in his nation and introduced us to a concept we all now call peaceful resistance. My friend Susan, who in spite of losing her home and her income, packed up her 4 children and left an abusive marriage. My friend James, who after years of physical and emotional distance from his teenage son, risked coming across as weak, faced him, looked him in the eyes, and cried his way through the simple words, "I'm sorry." Risk takers, whether within the small space of our own lives or the legacies left behind from our greatest leaders, push us to see past that which is our current reality to embrace the dreams of a new dynamic paradigm, a new world. They give us hope for a better way, and in doing so, create a world where the potential to be free is free at last. Today, we honor the risk takers, the dream makers, the liberators, the Emilys, the Susans, and the James who risked, persevered, and loved that much. Namaste.